Hi guys, so this week we have great and interesting movies lined up. Coming up this week, we have number 1, R.I.P.D. Part 2, Rise of the Damned. On Tuesday, the 15th of November. If you recall, we saw the first part in 2013. Well, this part 2 is a bit more interesting as far as I'm concerned. This part 2 is set in the American West of 1876. Sheriff Roy Pulsipher isn't too thrilled about finding himself dead after a shootout with a notorious outlaw gang. But he does get a second chance to return to Earth after being recruited by the R.I.P.D, that is the Rest in Peace Department. But avenging his own murder may have to take a back seat to saving the world when a gateway to hell is opened in the old mining town of Red Creek, threatening not only the locals but all humanity itself. It's a huge watch. Well, it's coming out Tuesday, 15th November. But don't tell anyone. It's already out. And I've seen the movie. It's quite interesting. Next on the list, same day, 15th of November, Tuesday, we have The Revealer. I have a mixed feeling about this one. Although it looks as though it will be interesting. I haven't seen it, by the way. But it's not so... It's a story about two ladies, a stripper and a religious protester. They are trapped together in a peep show booth, and they must team together to survive the apocalypse in 1980s Chicago. Well, from the trailer I saw, I'm not looking forward to this movie, by the way. It's a horror movie. I'm not a huge fan of horror movies, but if you're a fan of horror movies, you should check it out. It's coming in on the 15th of November. I've said that before. Next on the list is Poker Face. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. It's about a tech billionaire and a gambler, Jake Foley. He holds a high-stake poker game between his childhood friends, offering them the chance to win more money than they have ever dreamed of. The evening takes a turn when he unveils his elaborate plan, seeking revenge for their betrayals. And to play, they'll have to give up the one thing they've spent their lives trying to keep. That is their secrets. Well, as the game unfolds, thieves break in, and they must band together to survive a night of terror. Well, from the trailer, it looks good, and I recommend it. And that is coming in on the 16th. That is Wednesday. Next on the list is the Santa Clauses. Well, for every Christmas, we've always gotten a Christmas movie, but for this week, we're getting 3, and we're looking forward to more before the year runs out. We're getting 3 of them. The first is the Santa Clauses. Scott Calvin, the current Santa, is about to turn 65, and realizing he can't be Santa forever, he set out to find a substitute that will replace him when he retires with his family to the South Pole. And of course, he starts training his family on how to live in the South Pole. The next we have The Wonder. The Wonder is set in the Irish Midlands, 1862. The story follows a young girl who stops eating for months but remains miraculously alive and well. Well, an English nurse, Lee Bright, is brought to the tiny village to observe the 11-year-old and an old doll. Tourists and pilgrims troop in to witness the girl, who is said to have survived without food for months. Well, here's the question you should answer after watching the movie. Is the village harboring a saint? Or is there something that they are not telling us? Next is our second Christmas story, the Christmas Story Christmas. Name sounds a little bit stretched, but I guess it might be nice. It follows the now adult Ralphie as he returns to the house of Cleveland Street to give his kids the magical Christmas, the one he had when he was a child. While reconnecting with childhood friends and then the loss of his father, the story takes a turn of ups and downs. It's going to be a good Christmas movie. The next on the line is Christmas with You. And both the Christmas Story Christmas and Christmas with You are coming in on the 17th, this Thursday. It follows a pop star who's got a career burnout and escapes to a small town where she finds not only inspiration, but she also gets a chance to find true love. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the 3 Christmas movies. They're going to be wonderful. And let's move on to Friday. Friday is packed with a whole lot of movies. We're not going to bring all of them to you, but we just selected a few, and these few are the ones I think will be most interesting to watch. First on the list for Friday is She Said. Next is Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. This is the first animation we're getting for the weekend. And of course, since your kids have been at school all through the week, maybe you should give them something for the weekend. They would like the Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. It's a musical adaptation of Charles Dickens' quote Christmas story. A supernatural time traveling being comes into town and see the movie to find out what happens. Well, the next on the line is one of my favorite, one of the movies I'm looking forward to for this week. Spirited. It's a musical version of another Charles Dickens story. It's about a man who treats everyone around him with so much selfishness. He's always looking out for himself. He finds himself on a fantastical adventure into the 3 phases of time, past, present, and future, in order to discover how he ended up so miserable and alone and selfish. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Next on the list is Disenchanted. Well, if you've seen Enchanted, you should also look forward to seeing Disenchanted. 10 years after Happily Ever After, Giselle, Roberts, and Morgan moved to a new house in the suburb of Unveils. With their newest addition, the community is overseen by Melvina Monroe, who has nefarious intentions for the family. When problems arise, Giselle wishes that their lives were the perfect fairy tale. The spell backfires, with Giselle rushing to save her family and her homeland of the kingdom of Andalusia before the clock strikes midnight. It's going to be a great watch. So, watch this one with your family and come back to tell us how you enjoyed it. Now, my second most anticipated movie of the weekend, and this is for you and your family, by the way, Slumberland. Slumberland takes audience to a magical new place, a dream world where precocious Nemo and her eccentric companion Flip embarks on an adventure of a lifetime. Well, it happens after her father, Peter, is unexpectedly lost at sea. Nemo's idealistic Pacific Northwest existence is completely upended when she is sent to live in the city with her well-meaning but deeply awkward uncle Philip. Her new school and new routine are challenging by day, but at night, a secret map to the fantastic world of Slumberland connects Nemo to Flip, a rough around the edge but also lovable outlaw who quickly becomes a partner and guide. Flip and Nemo soon find themselves on an incredible journey, traversing dreams and fleeing nightmares, where Nemo begins to hope that she will be reunited with her father once again. Coming in last, we have The Last Manhunt. Oh, I see what we did there. The last on the list is The Last Manhunt. In 1909, amidst the dying of Old West, Willie Boy, a long-distance desert runner by the Chemehuevi tradition, falls in love with young native beauty, Carlota. Carlota's father, a Chemehuevi shaman and local tribal leader, refuses to let the young couple be together. In a fatal confrontation, Carlota's father falls dead to an accidental gunshot, and the young lovers flee to the sun-enslaved Monhev Desert. The local sheriff leads a mounted post armed with firepower and two Native American trackers seeking justice for their murdered tribal leader. Willie Boy and Carlota evade capture, outlasting the men and their horses. However, fake news stories meant to sell papers adds to the mounting pressure to capture Willie Boy in a desert that purifies all. The search for Willie Boy forces everyone to face their own demons in this tragic tale of love, death, and desert. And that wraps it out for us for the week. Although, before the week runs out, you could also try to check out Blue's Big City Adventure, A Christmas Karen, The People We Hate at the Wedding, The Inspection, and When Men Were Men. Check them out and come back to tell us which one you watched.